Oh my god, there's a whirlpool there. Dying of thirst must be the worst way to go. Oh my god, I just saw a jackal. I did it. Did it. They want money.
Oh, you don't know, maybe I kill you.
Can one man travel across Europe in 30 days with nothing but a penny? Well, meet Kerr Rodden, a YouTuber who challenged himself with traveling from Britain to Asia in 1 month on a 2,000-mile journey involving finding diamonds, fighting violent scammers, and kayaking through whirlpools. Kerr's allowed me to tell his story, and it all started in the seaside town of Weymouth, England, as he laid out the rules of the challenge.
Rule number 1, all profit must come from the penny. Rule number 2, all food, transport and accommodation must come from the profit of the penny.
And rule number 3, the Great Reset, which will be explained later on. With the rules established, he got straight to work.
Hello. Would you guys be willing to swap me a pen for this penny?
I've got a bar holder.
Amazing, thank you so much.
Keep the penny if you want.
Oh no, I have to give it away. Thank you. To the first part of the chain, would anyone be willing to buy this pen off me for £1? Amazing, thank you so much. I have to give you the pen. I have to, it's part of the rules of the challenge. Thank you so much.
He swapped a penny for a pen. Then he sold the pen for £1 and used it to buy 4 bottles of water that he could sell on the street.
I must say, you look very thirsty. Can I tempt you for a water for £1?
No thank you.
No worries, have a great day.
Most people rejected him, but eventually,
I suppose you fancy buying a bottle of water for £1?
Oh, no, yeah.
Thank you so much. One from you, one from you. Thank you so much, boys. Whee! Almost sold them all. You're amazing. Perfect.
with that, his money tally increased to £4.
And we're back at Poundland, this time with £4. Is there any chance of a discount because the packaging is broken?
I only do it for one was missing, but I'll do it for cent for you.
Thank you, you're a legend. Thank you so much.
188. Right?
188, there's two. Thank you.
He spent the rest of the day selling his 12 waters, finishing with £8.32.
Just tell them, show me the money!
£3 was spent on food from Too Good To Go, an app selling food from stores for cheap that's about to go off, but he couldn't afford a room in a hostel, so he had to improvise.
I will be sleeping in Pleasure Pier.
Sleeping under the pier would help him stay hidden from the police, and while exploring the area, he found this.
No way. We may have just found the find of the night. I've got a crayfish trap or a lobster trap or a crab trap. This could sort out our poor salesmanship woes. So here's my new idea. I'm gonna fix this up. This is how we're catching breakfast. Maybe we can even sell something. If we could catch a lobster, that's 20 quid tomorrow morning straight up. What a find! The only problem is this hole, which is obviously why it's been chucked away. I've still got this plastic bag from those waters I bought. I'm gonna use this to thread up that hole. And then technically anything I catch in this trap originated from the profit of the penny. Can you see its tail?
He found this lobster, but it escaped.
Sneaky. I left it too long and he's hidden in a hole where I can't reach him. So I'm gonna have to set the trap right outside of that hole. I'm gonna smash some limpets up to attract him and hopefully we'll wake up to him in the morning. I can't believe I let him go.
The trap bait holder broke, so he poked holes in a bottle, filled it with limpets he found, and put it into the trap next to the lobster overnight. The next day, he woke up with the ocean lapping at his hammock, so he had to wait until the tide went out before searching the trap.
What have we got? Oh, no way. We've got a conger eel. Wow. Look at the size of him. He's still alive, thankfully. I'm trying to help you. Don't bite me. Whoa, look at him. Look at the size of him.
He couldn't sell this giant conger eel, and they don't make for good eating. But after leaving the pier and going to wash in the ocean, he stumbled on something even better.
Check this out. Spider crab. I wasn't expecting these to still be about, otherwise I'd have gone looking for them. That's 2 crabs. There must be more in there. There must be more. Oh my god. Today just gets better and better. Yeah. This is getting too easy. Look at them. So my mission now is to sell these spider crabs. I reckon my best bet at the Chinese restaurants. Hey bro, hello. How are you?
Yeah, fine.
I've got 4 giant spider crabs here. Would you guys be interested in buying them? They're freshly caught like 30 minutes ago. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Cheers. Boom, £20.
This crab cash gave him enough money to book a bus to London the following morning. a city with a number of money-making opportunities and risks that could jeopardize the challenge.
I can call the police for you and
Totally, call the police. You work for Roger Dubious? Call the police, man. Let's go.
Now, when most people get a chance to visit the UK's capital, they check out its famous landmarks, like the London Eye, Big Ben, and Buckingham Palace. So, Kerr did the same thing.
I haven't had a wash in a few days, and what better place to do it than Buckingham Palace?
How dare you! Off with his head!
Without access to a shower, Kerr had to wash himself in a very public space. But fortunately, he wouldn't be broke for long, as he had an idea for a lucrative scheme in London that involved diamonds. But first, he had to grab some food and catch some Z's.
Tonight we're stealth camping right next to Tesco. There's these wondrous bushes right here. That's the spot.
The following morning, he decided to have a real shower in a gym. But first, he had to go through their free trial. He was clean for the first time in 4 days, but as he left the gym, a stranger approached and asked for some money, triggering the Great Reset. See, Kerr's challenge is all about helping people in need by delivering seeds halfway across the world. So, the Great Reset rule dictates that if anyone asks him for money throughout the challenge, he has to give all his profit to them, starting back at just 1 penny.
I only had £5.81 to give him. Well, we're back on 1 penny. I've been struggling so hard to make money with money. So tomorrow is going to be a challenge now. But I have an idea.
Having no money in one of the world's most expensive cities was a serious problem, and Kerr spent the day wandering around London, failing to make any more cash. He bought nuts to sell to tourists, feeding the parakeets in a popular park, but nobody bought them.
Well, in terms of making money, that was an epic fail. In terms of fun, however, that was a 10 out of 10 great time. And I got breakfast for the next few days sorted now.
But he wasn't too concerned, as the following morning, he headed to London's jewelry district in Hatton Garden to carry out an ambitious diamond heist based on a stunt he pulled 2 years earlier.
A while back, I came here and scratched up a bunch of dirt from the pavement cracks. I took it home, sieved it, panned it, and found a load of gold dust.
Turning dust to gold is impressive, but on this month-long journey, he'd need to find something more valuable.
So my plan is to scratch up the pavement cracks, looking for a little shimmering diamond.
The idea is, as diamond dealers trade around the street, every now and then they'll lose a diamond that'll end up in the cracks of the sidewalk. But Kerr's gold panning scheme wasn't all smooth sailing.
This is not the right location to look for what you're looking for. Yeah, so it's better for you to leave.
No, I'll be right here.
No? You cannot be right there.
I'll be right here, for sure I'll be right here. This is public land. It's a public street, I can be here.
Well, I can call the police for you and
Totally, call the police. You work for Roger Dubious? Call the police, man. Let's go.
The guards protecting the diamonds in Hatton Garden might offer even more resistance, so this ploy was potentially very dangerous. And as we'll see later, Kerr would clash with the police throughout his trip. But Kerr isn't one to shy away from danger, so he went ahead and started a diamond hunt.
Excuse me, is there any chance you have a pen that I could swap a penny for?
You know what? Actually, yes. Have a pen.
And we have our digging tool.
Apart from a brief false alarm when he found a piece of broken glass, it was fruitless. Kerr spent hours searching the sidewalk and was ready to give up when suddenly...
No way. No way. No way. 2 gemstones right there. I did it. Hi, I've got a couple gems. I just was wondering if you could give me a valuation. Thank you. Would you give me 50?
We actually did it. We actually managed to find some diamonds and sell them. 50 quid richer, 3 hours later. Let's go.
Turning 1 pence into 50 pounds is an incredible magic trick. and Kerr used his hard-earned cash to buy a meal and book a ferry into mainland Europe the following morning, to the Dutch capital of Amsterdam. But before he could leave Britain, Kerr ran into one last hurdle, waking up with a stabbing pain in his ankle.
My ankle is still pretty geriatric. So first I'm going to pick up some crutches I found on Facebook Marketplace. Crutches for an invalid?
This wasn't the last time that Kerr would run into a medical emergency on his trip.
Dying of thirst must be the worst way to go.
But for now, the crutches took the strain off his ankle, and he had a bit more time to earn some extra cash before his coach arrived.
Now I'm taking a dog for a walk for £22.50 thanks to Dog Walking App Road. Taking a dog for a walk when you can't even walk yourself? Right up my street. So I've schlepped it all the way down here and they didn't answer the door, which is a shame. I was looking forward to making a furry friend, but seeing as it was them that cancelled, not me, I still got my $22.50 from Rover.
I guess they didn't want their dog walked by a guy on crutches. Either way, Kerr still got paid, and it was time for him to head to the Netherlands. Kerr was 1 week into the challenge, and he'd already made just under 30 pounds, but he was still 1,600 miles from Istanbul, so it was clear he'd have to make much more money to make it across Europe. Luckily, he had an idea.
Amsterdam's most commonly known for its coffee shops where one can puff on the herb. This afternoon, I'm going to be cooking up a storm and selling it to stoners afflicted by the common phenomenon known as the munchies.
It's a foolproof plan, but he'd have to wait until the evening when Amsterdam's hungriest tourists had built up an appetite. Fortunately, he discovered another way to make money in the meantime.
In every supermarket in Holland, they have machines like these. These cute little robots will pay between 15 cents and €1 for every bottle you feed it. 25 cents. With 25 cents up, I'll reclaim that later on. But for now, let's stomp around the city collecting bottles. Oh, there's so many in there, I just can't reach them. That's some primo goods right there. I should probably be wearing gloves for this, but I don't have any. Hello, Mr. Heineken. Some more primo goods? Woohoo! Check this haul out.
After collecting a ton of trash, he redeemed the bottles for a combined €29.
Dollar bills, y'all. Ooh.
Digging through trash is pretty gross, but in a few days, Kerr would have to get much more personal with garbage.
Yes, I found a sandwich.
That's gross.
But back in Amsterdam, after washing his hands, he bought some chicken skewers and borrowed a barbecue from a guy he met on the ferry. Then he started grilling next to two guys with a distinctive smell.
You guys got the munchies? Do you guys want some skewers? I'm selling them £2 a pop. Hey, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The scheme left his total at €69.38 as he went off to sleep in a bush in the park. Amsterdam made Kerr a lot of money, but he had no time to rest, and his plan for the next day was to hitchhike into Germany.
A mate has told me about a party in the woods tomorrow night, deep in the middle of Germany, so I'm heading for that. I'm going to buy a bunch of waters and try sell them at the party. Now, this neck of the woods is about an 8-hour drive from Amsterdam, so I'm hoping to do a big slog today, at least get into Germany, and then finish it off tomorrow.
Kerr had to get moving, but he had an issue.
Crutches are gone. Well, I hope someone took them that needs them more than me, because my foot's doing a lot better. And I've been walking for hours and I'm still not anywhere near the outskirts of Amsterdam. It was an unfortunate day to lose my crutches because my feet are starting to play up. I have a feeling I'll be hobbling by the end of the day. Whoa, sorry. I've almost been run over by cyclists so many times in Amsterdam. But look, we've got it. We found it. Liftsplatz. And all that's left to do is thumb ein Lift.
After a while, a car stopped, but this is where things started going wrong.
Well, you don't know, maybe I kill you.
I feel like I'm in danger.
I didn't say I kill you. Maybe no kill, but only.
The driver joked about killing Kerr twice, and then they got moving. Kerr discovered that he was drinking.
I love it, drinking a beer on the drive. Oh, thank you.
I like beer.
I'm in danger.
You couldn't get me out of that car fast enough, but it was the only one that stopped, and the driver said he'd take Kerr all the way to Eindhoven. So he was forced to stick with the drunk and potentially murderous driver, and fortunately, he made it in one piece.
And I hope you
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Get home safe. Lift 1 got us out of Amsterdam. Will Lift 2 get us out of Holland? Oh, yes. Someone's got me. Yes, yes, yes. All right.
Thankfully, these truckers didn't threaten to kill Kerr, and they took him all the way into Germany, dropping him at a truck stop in the middle of nowhere.
Right, where am I? So we are currently... We're there. If that means anything. Just outside Koblenz, in the middle of nowhere. A little truck stop. Everything's closed, so it might be a case of finding somewhere to sleep. Looks like I'm staying here tonight. Okay, I found a little spot in the bushes. There's lots of activity out there. This is probably the closest I've slept to people this whole trip. It smells a bit like poo here. When I say a bit, it smells a lot like poo here.
Sweet dreams, buddy. After sleeping in the poop bush, he felt pretty dirty, so he paid for a shower at the truck stop before hitching a ride to a train station near the festival.
So I'm going to take advantage of this train delay and go get some Wassers. I think that river is where the party's on.
When Kerr arrived, his friend explained it was a fishing festival.
Whoa, that sounds so boring.
But it turns out Bavarian fishermen go pretty hard.
Yes, Prost. Welcome to Prost, thank you. Prost.
And after a dip in his buddy's pool, Kerr found himself selling bottles of water at a giant party.
We've sold a couple waters, nothing special, but we've managed to land ourselves a job for tomorrow at the fishing festival. Free food, free drinks, and a bit of cash. Drank a lot of free beers.
The next day, the festival gave him free food for working, and after spending a few hours helping out at the bar, he rejoined the party.
Dankeschön, Hulk. Hulk, could I have a Radler, please?
You said 2 beer, right?
Ein Radler. Okay,
said 2 beer,
ein
right?
Bier. Okay, 2 Bier.
That's all I want to hear. Just for you. Cheers.
Chill day today, but we're back on the hustle tomorrow. Night sleepyheads.
As we'll see later, not everyone on Kerr's trip was so friendly. And after this much-needed break from sleeping in bushes and digging through trash, he was straight back at it.
But I think we've got a lift sorted to Nuremberg. Now I just need to remember which of these German guys it was that offered me the lift last night. There's a fair few free beers in.
In Nuremberg, he found that they had the same recycling system as Amsterdam, so he immediately started collecting bottles to make money. But he soon ran into a problem.
I'm struggling. I'm really struggling today. Struggling to find the refundable bottles. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that this isn't a very touristy town. Unlike Amsterdam, ridden with tourists who just discard these bottles, maybe unaware that you can get a refund for them. Here it's just locals who must just be in the know. Another empty bin.
With a measly haul of bottles, he decided to find somewhere to sleep for the night.
So my plan is to follow this river down into Nuremberg, and just before it hits Nuremberg, there are 2 little islands. I'm gonna swim out to one of these islands, and that's where I'm gonna set up camp tonight. I'll be safe on the island, away from people, and I'll be able to have a good night's sleep so we can get back on the challenge properly tomorrow. It's cold. Oh. Oh, snap that branch. Look at all these brambles. Oh no. Oh, and nettles, my favourite. Hey, that's worked out right. Just need to get rid of these overhanging nettles. And that's home for tonight. Morning, today's day 12 of trying to cross Europe, and I'm wading off this island, back into the park, trying not to get spotted. Now, you may be wondering why I'm roughing it when I've managed to accumulate enough cashish to get a room. Well, the further east I get, the harder it'll be to make money, and the cheaper everything will be, so I'm saving it for then. I also have quite a big expense coming up, a kayak, which I'm gonna use for a large part of this trip, traversing the River Danube.
Yep, later on in his journey, Kerr planned on kayaking 124 miles down Europe's second longest river to traverse much of Europe in one giant leap. As we'll see, this came with its own challenges.
And that's the last of the water.
But before starting that leg of the challenge, he'd have to buy a kayak, and he was still struggling to make anything from the bottles in Nuremberg.
Nada.
So he had to come up with a new scheme to earn some cash the following day.
It's a simple mission. Here in Bavaria, they love a beer festival. As the stereotype goes, there happens to be a beer festival in a town about a 20-minute train ride from here.
He hoped the festival would have a ton of discarded bottles that he could trade in for cash, but first he had to head back to his island to get some rest.
They're not coming for me. I hope. I had a bit of a scare last night. I could hear people moving around on the bank, and there were flashlights being flashed on the islands, almost like they were searching for vagrants.
But Kerr made it through the night without being caught by the police, and he was able to catch a train to the beer festival for the day's scheme.
I expect most people will be arriving by train and having a good old train beer along the way. Oh? Ja?
Das braucht ihr da.
Grauche. Ah, for me? Ich kann take?
Ja.
Dankeschön. Wow. Ich spreche keine Deutsch. But ich kann take this?
Ja.
Ja?
Das ist meine, aber gib er mir.
Ah, sure. Sure. Dankeschön. Wow, that guy just gave me a crate. Dankeschön. What an absolute legend. Well, let's go straight to the nearest supermarket and get a refund for these bad boys. 1578. That's put a right spring in me step.
But as he arrived at the festival, his high spirits were crushed.
That guy's got the right idea. He might have swooped in before me. Got a whole trolley bags full. Oh look, and here's a few other guys doing the same. Oh no, I fear the competition may have cleaned this place out before I can. That guy's got hella bottles and he's not even there. So the police are at the entrance and they're not letting anyone in with any glass bottles. Hello. After that, I think the chances of finding any bottles in here are non-existent. I didn't see a single can or bottle, so I'm out of here.
He had to head back to Nuremberg empty-handed. But he still had enough money to book a bus to his next destination, the Czech Republic's capital city, Prague, and a scheme that involved exposing a dangerous gang of scammers. When he arrived in Prague, he checked into a hostel for £8.62, giving him a room with a bed and a shower for the first time in 2 weeks. Then he set off into the city and started the day's hustle.
For this afternoon's hustle, I've got the pen that we use to dig for diamonds in London, and I just got a sketchbook. Let's see if we can draw portraits of tourists for cash. I must say though, my art skills are akin to a toddler with no arms, so we'll see how this goes. Hey, can I interest you guys in a portrait? It's free, takes 60 seconds.
Unfortunately, Kerr's no artist, so he ended up having to give away his stickman portraits for free.
No one's gonna pay me for a drawing of a stick figure. What was I thinking? This is probably the worst hustle idea yet. Hello! Would you guys like your portrait drawn? It's free, it takes 60 seconds. No worries. Words obviously got out about how awful I am at drawing.
After the beer festival, this was his second hustle that had ended in failure. But this one was only a temporary setback. And after spending another night in the hostel, he explained the scam he'd visited Prague to expose. Prague is full of head shops that sell the devil's lettuce to tourists. But this is illegal in the Czech Republic, so the shops really sell fake narcotics at extortionate prices while telling tourists it's the real thing.
It's real. Yeah. And this one has THC also.
Yes.
It's legal in Prague. You can see even the packaging is designed to trick naive tourists into thinking it's real THC. Like those cookies, it had real THC, but right at the bottom it makes it clear that the THC stands for Taste High Cookies. It has THC though.
Yeah, it has
THC, yeah?
Yeah.
It's legal THC.
Yeah.
That shopkeeper was lying.
Kerr wanted to expose the scam while using it to make a bit of money himself.
In short, this is a multi-million-pound scam that preys on thousands of tourists every single day here in Prague. So today, I'm going to be warning and saving tourists from these weed scams. And perhaps some grateful tourist will be kind enough to tip me for the service, enabling me to continue my penny challenge across Europe. I do need to be careful though, as these shops, these scam shops, are largely run by the mafia, who are often in cahoots with the corrupt Pragan police.
When most people vacation in Europe, they don't plan on going up against the local gangsters. But Kerr decided to take on the Czech mafia, and it worked out better than he could have imagined.
You guys, did I hear you say 10 grams?
Yeah.
Just so you know, in case you weren't aware, it's a scam. Were you aware of this?
No.
Can I just bring you over here and I'll tell you about it, just the way so they don't hear? Basically, they have this thing in Prague where they'll pretend to the tourists that it's got THC in it, and they'll tell you that it's legal in Prague. Is that what they told you?
Yeah, that's what.
How much were you going to buy? 10 grams?
We're going to buy 10 grams.
How much did they quote? 200 quid. Wow. It doesn't have THC in it, and a lot of these shops will pretend it does to take advantage of naive tourists that don't know the situation. So don't buy 10 grams because you'll be getting scammed. And also it's a bit disingenuous because I do it hoping that someone will tip me that I've saved them money, but it's a bit disingenuous after saving someone from getting scammed to put your hand out and be like, could I have some money?
But
I mean, we were just going to buy 10 grams.
Yeah.
Like $200, and you just helped us out big time.
got some USD, but I got this 2,000.
You know that's like $70 or something. That's way too much.
Is that?
I mean,
we're on vacation.
Are you sure? Do you not have something smaller?
Nah,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Man, thank you so much, guys. The Americans love a tip, don't they? Thank you so much, guys.
You saved the right guys, because we're the only country that tips.
Yeah, that's true. Just so you know, there's no THC in it. I don't know if they've told you there is or not.
Oh,
Have they?
No, they have, yeah.
They have. Oh, come here, just one sec. Basically, it's all a big scam. They lie to the tourists. They tell you it's got THC in it. They tell you that THC is legal in Prague, but actually they're selling dud buds. It's just CBD and HHC, so it won't get you high. It won't do anything.
it's 400.
Are you sure? That's a lot. That's like 20 euros or something. Are you sure?
Walking ATMs, Americans.
Today has been the best day so far of the trip. We made 2,400 crowns, which I think is like 72 pounds or something, which is absolutely nuts. I wasn't expecting to earn anything like that. But it puts us in good stead to get ourselves a kayak so we can kayak down the Danube for a big part of this trip. And that's me for today. I've booked another night at the hostel for £8.62. Night, friends.
But his work wasn't done, and on the next day he planned to expose another scam that was far more dangerous.
The scammers will hang around ATMs, usually ATMs where you have 2 or 3 adjacent to each other. They're armed with a bunch of expired Belarusian rubles. Fake rubles, They bide their time awaiting their prey. Naive tourists. A tourist will come and get cash out of the ATM, at which point the scammer will jump onto an adjacent ATM, pretending to get cash out too. Once the scammer sees the tourist has got the cash out of the ATM, he'll approach them holding a wad of cash that the tourist will automatically assume he just got out of the ATM. But in actual fact, these notes are expired Belarusian rubles or other types of fake money. The scammer will then try and change some of these fake notes for the fresh notes the tourist just taken out the ATM. And by the time they realize, when they unsuccessfully try and spend it elsewhere, the scammer's long gone with their hard-earned cash. Today, I'm going to be seeing if I can catch a scammer red-handed in the act. And if some grateful tourist feels like tipping me for the service, well, that helps our penny challenge across Europe.
Kerr started waiting across the street from some ATMs and keeping an eye out for scammers. Then, after just 20 minutes,
One in action right now. He's scamming you. You're a scammer. Fake rubles, fake money. You're a scammer. You should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah. This your friend here as well, also a scammer. Yeah. You guys are scammers. You scammers. Take a photo of me, man. I don't care. What? You a man. Scammer. Get there. Scammers. What are you gonna do? Man, you ain't gonna touch me, that's for sure. You ain't gonna touch me, I'll tell you that. No, you off, f***ing scammers. We'll call the police right now. No, you won't. No, you won't. F*** up.
You see, to not look me next time. Here now have too much people.
Yeah, we'll see. Big boy. Well, we got the first scammer in action.
despite the scammer's threats, Kerr made it away unscathed. And although he didn't make any money, he had saved a tourist from being robbed.
Who you.
Bye. But I'm gonna hang around a bit longer, see what happens. I doubt those two will come back with me here, or they could come back with 10 mates, who knows.
He spent the rest of the evening looking for other scammers until he ran into more trouble.
I don't understand.
What is that?
Oh, it's just for make videos. Yeah.
Play video.
Huh?
Play video.
Sorry?
Video.
Yeah. The feeling that guy might be connected to the previous guys. He was very starey. Very starey indeed. He's hobbling off now.
ATM scammers are often part of large criminal gangs who operate throughout the city, and Kerr was worried he was now being targeted. So he called it a day and retreated back to the safety of his hostel. There, he did some research and found that the scammer who confronted him is actually well known in Prague and had been nicknamed Goblin. Damn, if people called me that, I'd probably turn to a life of crime too. Kerr had gone toe-to-toe with a notorious criminal, but he'd face even more danger on the next leg of his trip.
This is not good. This is not good at all.
That he started the following morning.
My mission today is to get to Bratislava, Slovakia, and get my hands on a kayak so we can start paddling down the River Danube for a large part of this trip. Let's get out of here!
Welcome to Bratislava. First things first, let's go get a kayak. Thank you. Kayak acquired. Now some supplies and let's hit the river.
Nuts, bread, ham, water, and energy bars to sell on the river.
To reach Budapest, he'd have to kayak 31 miles every day for 4 days.
The weather looks pretty ominous, and I just checked the forecast. We're due thunderstorms for the next few days. I probably should have checked that before coming.
Kayaking through a storm is incredibly dangerous, and Kerr didn't have a life jacket. But if he wanted to get to Budapest, he had no time to waste.
Oh, this is so shallow. Kayak's dragging across the floor. Let's get a bit further out, where the current's stronger, the water's deeper, but there are also ships. All right, I'm gonna have to paddle in the shipping lane for a bit. This speedboat's heading right for me. Wait, what's this guy doing? Yo, this guy's heading right for me. What are you doing? Can you not see me? Yo, this guy's a plonker, man. Okay, he's dodged it. There he is. Well, actually, he wasn't that close. I'm just powerless in this vessel.
We're out of Bratislava.
There's another speedboat coming behind me. There he is, speedboat.
Oh, chilling.
And the rain begins. This could very well be the start of that thunderstorm. Huge raindrops. Oh God, it's gonna tip it down. Oh yeah, it's going for it. Oh, they kind of hurt. We're getting wet. There are clearer skies over there though, so I'm just gonna haul ass over there, try to get out of this. Those nuts are kicking in. These nuts. Whoa, now it's really going for it. Check this out. Oh my God. Wow. She feisty.
Kerr was being bombarded with rain, but with no life jacket, falling in the strong currents of the Danube could take all his gear or cost him his life, so he had to sit tight and ride out the storm. Eventually, it subsided, but he knew another was headed his way.
This is a proper tree graveyard here. There's fallen trees everywhere. Must have been some big ass storms. Hopefully tonight's storm won't be this massive, or I might be in a bit of trouble.
He realized the kayaking trip would be much more perilous than he expected, and it wasn't long until he reached his next obstacle. His kayak started being pulled by a strong current that was sucking him straight into a weir with a tiny channel. If he was pulled into it, he could be crushed. But he wasn't strong enough to row against the water, so he had to ride the current and steer his way towards a tree on the riverbank.
That was a real last-minute save. I'm glad I didn't try to get through that. That would have not been good.
He escaped with his life and managed to get out and rejoin the river at a calmer point. And then something on the riverbank caught his eye.
I've spotted something yellow on a tree trunk over there, which I think might be some more chicken of the woods. Only one way to find out. This side of the bank's Hungary, so that's a Hungarian chicken of the woods. For those of you that don't know, this bad boy, chicken of the woods, well, it tastes like chicken. But this is a godsend because I've already gone through half my water and half my food. I'm not sure if I'll be able to cook it tonight because everything's wet after the storm and I don't have any tools to process wood apart from this tiny little penknife. Got a decent chunk there, that's a good meal. No bugs in it, looks awesome. This could save me tomorrow if I run out of food. Yes, that's a result right there. That's cheered me right up. Thanks, Chicken of the Woods gods.
Kerr is an experienced forager, and he's uploaded videos about hunting for mushrooms in the wilderness and catching seafood with makeshift traps. So he was able to identify the edible mushroom and bolster his food provisions for the kayaking trip. The next day, he had to get out and walk again to avoid some rapids. And after all this exertion, he'd run out of food and drunk most of his water by noon.
Right, we need to talk. My supplies, they're gone. I ate all the ham and all the bread last night. I drank most of the water, that's all I've got. This is all the food we've got left. We've got like a third of these chocolate peanuts and 5 energy bars. The food I'm not that worried about. It's the water. I drank all of that yesterday, which only leaves me this. I wasn't meant to hit a town until tomorrow, but I'm gonna need more water. I'm really gonna need more water. If I drank all of that yesterday, that's gonna last me a couple hours. So I need to get to that town today, really, as a matter of urgency.
If he couldn't find more civilization to buy water, he could become dangerously dehydrated. But the Danube kept throwing more challenges at him.
Oh God, there's a whirlpool there.
He used the last of his energy to get out of the whirlpool, and at this point, he was desperate for something to eat.
Okay, so I've pulled up and stopped here. Why? Because this is the point where the fast-flowing river meets the stagnant estuary. And in the 10 minutes I've been here, round about here, I've seen a fish attack something. I've got a fishing hook from that fishing festival. I've got some paracord. I just need to find some bait. And then if I can catch that fish, it's a lot drier today. I'll be able to start a fire and we'll have fish and chicken of the woods. There we go. Yes. Worms. Let's get the worms on the line and catch a fish.
But within minutes, he was covered in a giant swarm of mosquitoes.
Ow. These mozzies are killing me. I can't deal with these mozzies. I've tied this line off here. I'm just gonna let it drag behind me. I'm getting back on the open water. Last dregs of water. My phone's died. Whoa, let's not spill any of that. So I'm not sure how long it is to that town anymore.
He knew that if he had to camp for another night with no supplies, he'd be in serious trouble for the next day. But then miraculously,
they've got seats outside. This might be a little cafe. Amazing. Hello. Do you have water? We've got our waters and I've decided we're sleeping here tonight. We'll cook up that chicken of the woods and hopefully not get devoured by mosquitoes.
He even met a fellow kayaker called John, who gave him some bug spray.
Doesn't taste too good.
Cheers, bro.
Then he was finally able to cook and eat the mushrooms he harvested before settling down for the night. The cafe had saved him, but the following morning, his situation wasn't much better.
That cafe's closed today for some reason, and all we've got is that much water and a tiny amount of peanuts. We're running low on supplies again. So it's essential we get to civilization today. I hope. It's pretty dire. It's a sweltering day as well.
But he had to press on. And as the sun beamed down, he drank the rest of his water and covered his head in a wet t-shirt to stay cool.
I was heavily dehydrated, had a banging headache, and kept having bouts of lightheadedness where I thought I was going to pass out. I paddled and paddled for hours on end. My phone was dead, so I had no idea when the next town would be. I desperately hoped it would be after the next meander. As every meander came and went, I was disappointed.
I'll survive. Hopefully. Tell you what, dying of thirst must be the worst way to go. Maybe I'm just dehydrated. Oh, yeah, I am. Maybe. I'm this close to just having a mouthful of river water and dealing with the diarrhea when it comes.
His situation was getting increasingly dangerous. but finally.
And I don't know if you can make it out, but right there on the corner, there's a pier. There's a pier, there's civilization. We made it. We made it. Yes. We ain't dying today. Totally out of water. I thought I was gonna die first. We made it. Woo! Well, little pit stop at Civilization, and I got myself 4 waters at 40 cents each, a 3-pack of tuna for €2.30, and some bread for 55 cents. That should keep us going, as long as we don't get hit by one of these bad boys.
This left him with £2.16 for the remainder of the trip to Budapest. But the food gave him the energy to continue paddling for the rest of the day until...
We've got a bit of a headwind picking up, which is far from ideal because I'd rather do as little paddling as possible. So here's my idea. I've got a plastic bag, quite a sturdy one, 2 bits of paracord. I'm going to drop this off the front, which will hopefully act as a drag anchor. The current will go into it and pull me forwards. That's in theory at least. Let's see how it goes. Look at her go. I've wrapped the cords around here just to widen that mouth a bit more in order to maximize the surface area of the plastic and therefore the volume of the water that can go in it and give us that propulsion. It's going quite nicely. We've actually picked up a fair bit of speed and it saves me paddling. And then if we find ourselves drifting sideways like this, which the boat likes to do, but then we can just pull one side to steer. And that brings us back facing forwards. I'm happy with that. That's me, back to chilling. And I'm gonna let the plastic bag do all the work.
Damn, this guy's resourceful. The makeshift drag anchor conserved his energy, but as night drew in, he was still left with barely any supplies, over 62 miles from Budapest. So, he came up with a plan for the following day.
Tomorrow's plan, 60 kilometers away, bit of a trek. There's an island. I'm going to do a survival challenge on that island tomorrow night, and I'll have to catch some food, some crayfish, some fish, forage some mushrooms. Somehow, I'll have to get it done. And then, we'll be 1 day away from Budapest. See you tomorrow. Good night, my friends.
He started the day by catching some minnows in a bottle that he could use as bait. Then he paddled 60 kilometers to start the survival challenge.
And this island right here is going to be home for the next 24 hours. Home sweet home. I wonder what awaits us in there. First things first, I'm just going to see what this island has to offer. A lot of sludgy mud, apparently.
He soon found a fishing lure and an abandoned fire pit. Then he started setting traps, using the cage he picked up all the way back in Weymouth, and constructing a spring trap.
I went in the woods and found a nice supple green bit of wood with a bit of spring in it, which I've attached to a toggle, which I've carved a notch into there, and I've bashed this into the ground. So we bring this down and hook it onto there. And at the very end of that line, we have the hook that we found at the festival. Bait goes on here, this goes in the water, and when we eventually get a bite, it tugs on this, boom, setting off the trap, which in theory should set and hook the fish, and he's ours. So what are we using as bait? Well, the minnows we found earlier. And all that's left to do is cast it out. And now we just wait.
With the trap set, he went searching for some sides.
Found a bunch of shellfish. Not exactly a hefty meal, but hey, it's a bite of protein. I'll chuck them on the coals of the fire when we start one. But for now, I'll leave them chilling in the water. Finally a stroke of luck.
If his traps caught something, this mussel and shellfish would provide a decent meal. But then...
Oh no guys, disaster. Absolute disaster. One of these massive ships has passed by, causing loads of waves. And the cockles that I left here, where are they? Where are they? They're gone. No way. Oh, this is just one disaster after another. My traps come off the... It must have been all those waves when that boat passed, because that knot's been sound every time I've used it. Oh, this is an absolute nightmare. I'm not gonna catch any food. I've got that one big shellfish, mussel. You know what? I guess I'm fasting.
With this measly haul, he gathered some sticks and used his sketchbook to light a fire. And then he cooked his mussel and boiled some river water in a can he found on the beach.
Look how nicely he's opened up. Give him a sec to cool down, and then we feast. It wasn't much, but I do love mussels. Freshwater mussels. Hopefully there wasn't a sewage outlet just upstream. Not the best water I've ever tried, but tastes alright.
Although he'd planned to stay on the island the following day, the lack of food was becoming dangerous. So he decided that in the morning, he'd have to power through the remaining 43 miles to Budapest.
I've got £2.17, and after yesterday's failed survival challenge, I've got no food, and this morning, I've drunk most of the water, so I'm down to that. Today, I have to get to Budapest. I've been paddling a few hours already, but I reckon I'm still at least 50 kilometers out. But even if I have to paddle all day and all night, I have to get there today so I can start making money again. Today is gonna be the hardest day of the mission so far. Battling hunger, dehydration, and my own mind. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We don't have any other choice. So for now, let's keep paddling till we can get to a cafe where I can buy a little donut, refill my water, and we slog it out. Ones and twos. Relentless ones and twos.
But after hours of kayaking, there was no civilization in sight.
That sun's come out to torment me again. And I'm strugs. I'm really strugs. But I'm ready for some shade. I can barely talk, man.
The situation was dire. But then,
I spy a little jetty. A little jetty and a human. This could be where we get our supplies. Water acquired. Things are looking up. But this extravagant nut purchase has left us for 59p to my name, so I'm not sure I'll be having any dinner tonight. It means that tomorrow we absolutely have to go make some kashish, some of that sweet, sweet cheddar Jong cheese. I've almost smashed 5 liters of water today, which shows just how dehydrated I was.
this water gave Kerr a burst of energy, and a few hours later, he finally made it.
We're in Budapest! You can start to see the high rises over there. We're getting there. We made it to Budapest. I'm knackered. But we did it. Did it. We made it to Budapest, but this is far from the end of the journey. We've still got 9 days to go to get to Istanbul.
With that, his 124-mile journey was complete, but Kerr had no money to buy food. So instead of celebrating, he was forced to eat a sandwich he found in a garbage can before falling asleep in a park.
That makes me feel sad. I'm sad.
Kerr had made it down the Danube, but he still had no water or food, so he needed to make some money, fast.
We bought the kayak that we got from Bratislava to Budapest in for 39 euros secondhand in Bratislava, but everything's a lot more expensive here in Budapest. So I've put an ad on Facebook Marketplace for 100 euros, but to be honest, I'll take anything for it. At this point, I just need some cash. I've hidden the kayak in a bush, which definitely isn't the most sensible decision I've ever made, seeing as that's the haymaker for today. But fingers crossed for the goodness of humanity.
Kerr was so exhausted that he didn't have the energy to cook up another scheme while he waited for the kayak to sell. So instead, he went off to find something to drink.
Thankfully, tap water's drinkable here in Budapest, so let's go on a hydration mission in good old trusty McDonald's. Oh my god, someone's abandoned half a bag of fries. I'm claiming this. I mean, there's no one around. It's up for grabs, right? I'm so glad no one's sitting in this section. Hey, beggars can't be choosers.
This was the first proper meal he'd had since Prague. And then,
To top off our string of good luck, someone's just messaged interested in the kayak. So let's go meet them and try flog it. Today could have really just turned around like that. The only question is, will the kayak still be there? Yes. The universe is on our side. Awesome. 30,000 did we agree on? Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, it's all there, man.
Appreciate it. Good luck. Yes, 30,000 forint is £68.52, which puts us up to a grand total of £69.11p. We're back in business.
for the first time in days, he had a full stomach and enough money to book a room in a hostel, giving him a bed, a shower, and letting him wash his clothes.
Nice.
In 23 days, Kerr had traveled 1,200 miles across Europe, and he was well over halfway through his journey. But he was still 823 miles away from Istanbul, and the scariest obstacles on his trip were yet to come.
Oh my god, I just saw a jackal.
But for now, Kerr had a week left to get to Asia, So, after the grueling trip down the Danube, he needed to cover some ground in a much more efficient way.
Today, I'm trying to hitchhike as far as I can out of here. Hopefully deep into Count Dracula's nation, Romania. So, let's get a bus to the outskirts of the city and put our thumb out. I've got this manky sketchbook from Prague. So first things first, let's write a sign. Got my sign, Szeged, that's a little town just on the border, near Serbia, near Romania.
He hitchhiked to Szeged, and then a couple took him all the way to the Romanian border, where things rapidly went wrong.
We got to the Romanian border and handed our passports over. They held our documents for ages whilst I munched on some cherries kindly given to me by my drivers. We were eventually told to pull over to the side and were surrounded by police officers. The couple driving me were pulled out the car.
We're stuck at the border into Romania. These two have been pulled out of the car. Not sure what's going on.
Romani, right. Racists, fascists. Yeah. They want money. They ask you for money, the police. Police want money.
The police were asking for a bribe, and it became clear that this was because the couple were Romani, an ethnic group that faces lots of prejudice in some parts of Eastern Europe.
The police had a bully-like, almost mafioso demeanor. They were on a total power trip. I asked to go to the toilet a number of times and they said there wasn't one.
Do you have a toilet there? I don't know.
Back and forth they sent me on a wild goose chase looking for a toilet that didn't exist. Well, it did exist, they were just purposefully pointing me in the wrong direction. After a few hours of asking and misdirecting me multiple times with smirks on their faces, they eventually told me where the toilet really was.
This one? Thank you.
There'd been one right by the car the whole time. Their treatment of the Romani couple was far worse than the schoolboy bully humiliation rituals they showed me. I couldn't understand the conversation, but the utter scorn in their voices was undeniable. They stood intimidatingly close, in aggressive macho stances, and you could just tell they were the type that would take any excuse to get violent, especially with a male driver.
It looked like Kerr might get stuck at the border without his passport, which could put an end to the entire challenge. But after waiting for 5 hours, the couple finally relented and went to a nearby ATM to pay the guards off. By this point, the car's battery had died, so Kerr had to help push it across the border, finally entering Romania in the dead of night.
We push!
Well, after 5 hours stuck at the border, I've made it to the Romanian town of Arad. I have no idea whether this is a safe or a dodgy town, and after today's madness, I've decided to get a room. If I was in the countryside, I'd sleep rough, but in the middle of a town that I don't know, I'm getting a room.
It was too late to get any food, so he had to go hungry, and the 17 pounds and 21 cent hotel room was one of his biggest expenses so far. This was a big hit on his wallet, and he was left with a budget of £4 and 42 cents per day for the rest of the challenge.
I'm broke. I'm broke.
But fortunately, the next leg of the journey would be relatively cheap, as he planned to hitchhike across the entirety of Romania, including the infamous Transfăgărășan, or Death Road. This is one of the most dangerous routes in Europe, involving single lanes, hairpin turns, and 1,000-foot drops. Lots of people have lost their lives on the Sky High Highway, and apart from Dracula, it's one of the deadliest things in Romania's mountains. But Kerr knew he'd have to face it to reach Bulgaria, as he started the day by hitching a ride out of Arad.
That was quick. Thank you, brother.
Andrei is my name.
Care. Care, yeah.
And you are from?
From England.
England.
Yeah.
Welcome in Romania.
Thank you.
Andre took him further into Romania before parting with a hug and a free slice of pizza.
Love that guy. Thanks, Andre. If you're watching, you're a legend. We got pizza, baby!
His next ride was from a couple called Pim and Alexandra, who were driving to Romania's capital, Bucharest, via the deadly Transfăgărășan.
We're gonna end up on the Black Valley, so the road of death, because it's really dangerous, has a lot of serpentine and uphill, downhill, and yeah, you're gonna see.
As promised, the road had winding single lanes and sheer drops, but it also offered beautiful views of Romania's mountains.
Tell me Romania isn't the most beautiful country in Europe. This is just on the side of the road by a petrol station.
The Transfigara Shan had a fearsome reputation, but fortunately, Pim and Alexandra were locals, so Kerr was in safe hands, and he made it to Bucharest in one piece.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the lift.
Pleasure.
You guys.
Likewise, of course.
See you at some point, hopefully.
Kerr had traveled 359 miles that day alone for no money, and Istanbul was now in his sights. He grabbed some food and slept in a bush, but he had to move in the middle of the night.
The first place I pitched up, woke up a few hours later, strong stench of poo. Looked to my right, literally 2 feet from my head, massive turd. Again, why do we keep doing this?
Brother,
Still, he got some much-needed rest, and in the morning, he treated himself to some pâté for breakfast. That would later come back to haunt him. But before we get to that, Kerr had to get out of Romania, so he walked to the outskirts for 2 hours before hitchhiking a ride towards Bulgaria.
Ciao. Goodbye. I'm actually still an 8-kilometer walk from the bridge, which should be about an hour and a half, but hey, I'll probably still get there before these trucks. Portaloo on the way. That was one of the gnarliest wheelies I've ever had. And we've almost made it to the bridge.
After the ordeal crossing into Romania, Kerr was apprehensive as he approached the border guard.
I'll go to Bulgaria. Yeah. You want to see my passport?
Yes, documents, passport.
He's just taken my passport in there, and then we're good to go over the bridge. Trying to dodge these massive lorries though.
Mulțumesc. Thank you.
Goodbye, take care. He was nice. That was a much nicer border experience than entering Romania, that's for sure. We made it to Bulgaria, finally.
It was now in the Bulgarian city of Ruse, and although he wanted to keep going and get closer to Turkey, he'd been warned against it.
People in Romania told me not to try traveling after dark here in Bulgaria. Not that I usually would anyway, because people don't like picking up hitchhikers in the dark. So I'm going to finish off this wondrous loaf of bread and this delightful pâté that's been in my hot bag all day. Ooh, bit pongy, but waste not, want not.
That meal had been a bad move. As he woke up the next morning, he had to immediately run to a bush.
I must confess, I've got the squirts pretty badly today. I've been squatting in a bush every 20 minutes, so I'm really hoping this shop will let me use their toilet.
Now, when I get food poisoning, I put on the TV and cry all day, but Kerr had no time to waste. So he got to a road and started hitching towards Varna, a Bulgarian city on the Black Sea. He traveled in 3 cars, intermittently stopping on the side of the road due to his ongoing pâté problem.
The squirts strike again, so let's find a bush.
All of the warnings about hitchhiking in Bulgaria were false, and the drivers were incredibly kind, giving Kerr free drinks and money.
No, I cannot. No, I cannot. I cannot. Please, no, please. No, I cannot. No, I thank you so much. No problem. Brother, merci. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Merci. They gave me 5 lev. Oh, that's too nice. I can't get over how friendly and nice people are, how much people just want to help other people.
The final car took him all the way to Varna, and with that he'd crossed Europe and reached the Black Sea. He was now just 288 miles from Istanbul, and with 4 days left of the challenge, he was truly in the final stretch.
It's funny, all through Europe, people have been warning me, be really careful in Romania, it's dangerous. It was fine. And then I got to Romania and everyone was like, be really careful in Bulgaria, it's dangerous. And it also seems fine. It's like every place has a country that they're afraid of or prejudiced against. But really, there's just beautiful people everywhere.
After sleeping in a bush, Kerr's plan was to hitchhike south through the rest of Bulgaria to reach the Strandzha Nature Park. This 448 square mile national park would offer him a remote place to camp right on Turkey's border. But it came with other challenges, as its woodlands were famously filled with bears and wolves. But by this point, Kerr had fought off scammers, whirlpools, and corrupt border guards, so how bad could it be?
There's noises coming from the woods. There's something out there. I can hear it.
Ooh, yikes. Still, all this was yet to come, and back in Varna, he started heading towards the deadly woods.
I successfully managed to sleep in a park and not wake up surrounded by turds last night. Today, we're trying to hitchhike as far as we can to the Turkish border, traversing a few towns, a city, and a national park that's supposedly full of wolves and bears. Let's see how this goes. First things first, at the southern outskirts of Varna to try hitch a ride. It's so hot, I don't really have an appetite, so I didn't get any breakfast. Kind of regretting that now. It's so hot, the asphalt's melting. Oh, look at that. Ugh. She's a hot one. So this is the motorway heading south. I'm on this little slip road. Let's try thumb a ride.
Mercifully, he soon got out of the heat and caught a ride that took him south. He then took 6 cars to steadily make his way towards Turkey, carrying him towards the towns of Blinznazi, Biala, and Burgas. On one of these drives, he learned something new about the national park he was heading to.
You should have your passport and all documents.
Okay, yeah.
If you're spending the night around.
Okay, because they think I might be,
They have a big issue with the illegal immigrants coming from Turkey.
Right.
Keep hearing my thoughts so you can look with hitchhiking.
Apparently, people use the national park to illegally cross from Turkey to Bulgaria, so it would actually be teeming with police, searching for people who were there without documentation. This, combined with the bears and wolves, made the forest a terrible place to spend the night. But at this point, Kerr had no other options, and after sleeping in Burgas, he kept hitchhiking towards the woods.
Buddy calling me now. Hey buddy, you gotta stay here. You gotta stay here. Oh, luckily he's turned back. This is what we're working with. It's about 1 kilometer to the junction. Oh, and there's a little track here. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's great news. Okay, I think we can make this without getting run over. I hope. Yeah, there's some dogs up there that don't seem as friendly as the last ones, so I'm not going to be able to make it all the way past the junction, but we'll work with what we've got. I ain't getting rabies today. We have some hitchhiking competition. Hello. Good luck.
After a while, Kerr got a ride, and he got them to stop for his fellow hitchhiker too.
We made it.
After getting dropped off in Marinka, the next driver that stopped said they'd take Kerr all the way to the national park, but they were clearly worried about his intentions at the border.
Passport, yes.
Yes, I have.
Documents, granite.
Oh, okay. Merci.
Then when she dropped him off at the park, he was immediately stopped by the police.
Cheers. Yeah, Istanbul. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Passport check. Policeman just pulled over, asked me for my passport. Not sure how much of it I got on camera, but he was rather polite. Thank you, sir.
It was clear that staying in the forest would be riskier than he'd thought, and this was hammered home as he started exploring the woods and came face to face with a predator.
Oh my god, I just saw a jackal. A jackal just came out in the road. Oh my lord. Damn. I knew this was bear and wolf territory, but I thought they were bull when they said jackals. I just saw a jackal. Oh my god. That is crazy.
Now, jackals are small, but they've been known to kill humans, and it was a clear reminder that Kerr would be sleeping in a wood full of dangerous animals. But at this point, Kerr was essentially stranded in the national park for the night.
Here's the game plan. I'm making my way away from the river because water means animals going there to drink, and I'd rather not be face to face with a bear, a pack of wolves, or a pack of jackals tonight. One jackal sighting was enough.
There were lots of signs of other people's old camps, rubbish in the woods near the road. I imagine probably from people who'd crossed the border incognito.
Okay, there's a little clearing in here. This is where I'm going to pitch up tonight. I'm not going to put up a hammock. I'm just going to sleep on the floor, stay as invisible as possible. I'm not going to light a fire.
Flames, smoke, that'll attract people. The police have already asked me for my passport today, so this is obviously a hot spot where the migrants come in. So there's a heavy police presence, and I don't want to attract any attention to myself from people or wild animals. So tonight we're trying to stay hidden from humans, police, bears, jackals, and wolves. See how this goes.
Taking these precautions turned out to be a good move, because soon after getting in his sleeping bag, he started hearing dogs barking in the woods.
I've smashed all the bananas. I don't have any food on me or anything that could attract a potential predator. I'm starving, to be honest, but we'll sort that out tomorrow. For tonight, we just need to stay incognito. I reckon.
It wasn't clear if those were police dogs or wild animals searching for food, but the barks continued all night. And he also heard people shouting and crashing through the trees in the distance.
Man, there's something out there. I can hear it. Oh God, I'm not getting any sleep tonight.
Unsurprisingly, Kerr spent most of the night wide awake, gripping his penknife and waiting to be attacked. But when the sun came up, he was still alive and just a stone's throw from the Turkish border.
Last night wasn't the most comfortable night of my life, and we're deep in bear and wolf territory, and I kept hearing these thunderous crashes in the distance in the forest, which was rather disconcerting. It's day 29 of trying to cross Europe, starting with just a penny. I've got £14.67, so today's plan is to hitchhike to the border with Turkey, cross the border, and get as deep into Turkey as possible to make tomorrow, the final day of the challenge's mission, to get to Istanbul a little bit easier. First things first, I'm heading to the main road. Let's try hitch a ride.
After reaching the road, Kerr hitched a ride with a driver who didn't want to be filmed, but they drove him all the way to the border when he was able to cross on foot.
And we have made it to the border. Turkey's about 50 meters away, so let's do this. It's looking pretty slow. And we made it to Turkey. Behind me is the border. That was quick and easy, far easier than the last few border crossings. Now let's find a spot to hitch a ride. We made it past the border and we are 260 k's from Istanbul, our destination, and 41 from the nearest town, Kirkcaldy. 41 k's from some food. It's 41 kilometers to Kirkcaldy, which is a long ass walk. And judging by how slowly the cars were going through the border, I don't think we're gonna have many hitchhiking options. I've had no food today. There was nowhere at the border to get any food, so we might be in for a bit of a slog today. 41 kilometers. If I can walk a kilometer every 10 minutes, that's 410 minutes. Oh God, I might be walking all day. Well, no food. It's like over a 7-hour walk if I don't get picked up. Okay, here's a car. Please. Nope. Not for you.
He was on the final stretch of his month-long journey, but as he walked down the road for hours, nobody stopped to pick him up. He was starving, dehydrated, and at points he started feeling lightheaded.
Whoa. There's a car coming. Please pick me up. Please, please, sir. Big smile, come on. Didn't work. These inclines just get steeper and steeper. It's nice and overcast. But if it starts pouring down, that would be another spanner in the works. So fingers crossed for no rain. Man. I'm going a bit nuts, to be honest. Please stop for me.
With no food and bouts of dizziness, Kerr was close to collapsing on the side of the road. The only car that did stop was a taxi, asking if he wanted a ride to the border.
Not a taxi. Don't want a taxi. Thanks for the honk, mate. Cheers, buddy.
It was looking hopeless, and if Kerr didn't get a ride soon, he could be in serious danger. Furthermore, he was still over 124 miles away from Istanbul with a day left of the challenge, so he was at real risk of failing at the final hurdle. But then, like a miracle...
Oh, taxi guy's coming back. I wonder if he'll give me a free ride. England!
Do you have passport?
Yeah.
Do you have stamp?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah? For free? You want money?
You have money?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you, my friend.
Oh, amazing.
We got a ride. Yeah. Cheers, bro.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Cool.
He was on the move, hurtling towards the closest town of Kirklareli.
Welcome to Kirklareli. Something like that. Turkey. That taxi guy was such a babe. He took me for free. He was coming here anyway. So let's find a money exchange and get some nosh.
He was finally able to eat, and the taxi got him there so quickly, he had enough time to hitch another ride towards Istanbul.
Thank you, brother. My name's Ker. Fevzi. Belwar? Fevzi. Ker.
Fevzi explained that he was heading to Visa, a town just 75 miles away from Istanbul, but he had some jobs to do along the way.
And you're working? Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. If I've understood this correctly, we're going to grab a bite to eat, and in about an hour, he's got a job in a place called Visa, which is in the direction I'm going. So he's saving me from this tragic rain. What a legend. Cheers. I tried paying for the food, but Fevzi absolutely insisted. Thank you, brother. England. Yeah. He then dropped me off at a coffee shop in town while he went to do one of his water technician jobs.
While Fevzi worked, Kerr made some friends with the locals.
I'm with my new friend Hussein. Just everyone here has been so welcoming, so friendly. Everyone's insisted on buying me stuff. All the old boys wanted to buy me food, wanted to buy me drinks. The hospitality and the welcome here, I just couldn't have asked for a better welcome to Turkey. I chilled with them, chatting what we could. An hour turned into 2, and then Fevzi rocked up and picked me up again. And we're on our way to Vize. We trundled along to Pisa, the next town he had a job in. And now I'm sat in the car whilst he's servicing another client, and then he's going to take me even further, even closer to Istanbul, to a town called Korlu. Fevzi's back.
Korlu was just a 2-hour drive away from Istanbul, and when Fevzi dropped Kerr off, he decided to catch one last ride.
I'm about 120 kilometers from Istanbul. I've got a couple hours daylight left, so let's see how far we can get along this highway. Thank you, brother. Where are you going?
Istanbul.
Hey, amazing.
You?
Istanbul?
Where from?
England.
England?
Yeah.
Despite being exhausted from his journey, Kerr was in high spirits, singing along to the radio while barreling towards his final destination.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. And I have made it to the outskirts of Istanbul. What a metropolis. I'm still 30 kilometers away from crossing that bridge into Asia and completing the challenge. I've got just over £14 left. So I reckon tonight I'm gonna try find a hotel that will have me for a tenner, and I'll do the rest of the journey tomorrow.
With a day left of the challenge and money to spare, he spent £9 on the nicest hotel room he'd stayed in yet, allowing him to shave, shower, and get the first good night's sleep he'd had in weeks. The following morning, he still had to travel through Istanbul to cross the Bosphorus Bridge and officially reach Asia. However, with £3.05 left in his budget, he could afford to avoid another long walk in the Turkish sun.
Flipping up. I'm getting a bus.
With that, after weeks of hitching, hiking, and paddling, he was able to ride the bus through the city and straight over the bridge, officially leaving Europe and finishing his challenge.
And we've officially made it to Asia. What a journey it's been. We've had highs, we've had lows, we've had wins, we've had fails, and we've met a load of beautiful people. We started in Weymouth with a penny, which we flipped into a pen, then a pound, with which we started buying and selling waters. We then caught spider crabs, sold them to a Chinese restaurant, which got us to London. We found diamonds in the pavement cracks of the jewelry district. We got to Amsterdam and collected bottles and sold food to stoners. We hitchhiked through Germany and helped out at a fishing festival. We saved tourists from weed shop scams in Prague, as well as ATM cash scammers. You man. We camped in some dubious poopy bushes. We kayaked down the Danube from Bratislava to Budapest, running out of food and water and having to do an absolute fail of a survival challenge. We hitchhiked through all of Eastern Europe, got extorted by police, slept in dodgy parks and forests home to bears, wolves and jackals, the latter of which we were lucky enough to see, and we met some absolutely beautiful people who really went out of their way to help us. I feel quite emotional right now. The last 30 days have been some of the craziest 30 days of my life. Absolutely incredible. Oh, I've got goosebumps. Thank you guys so much for being part of this journey. It's been a blast. I don't know what to say. Oh, we did it. We did it. We're in Asia.
He'd finished his journey with 35 pence, but despite making the momentous trip across the entirety of Europe, Kerr's work wasn't done.
Welcome to Bali Baby Home, an orphanage in Bali, Indonesia that takes care of dozens of orphans with absolutely no government assistance. In this video, we're going to be converting a piece of derelict land into a vegetable garden for them to grow their own food.
He'd amassed over 16,000 subscribers during his journey, which equated to 16,000 seeds that he would give to people in need. More than 130 babies had been rescued by the Bali Baby Home, but money was so tight that its owner, Burham, had to borrow from his friends to buy the children food. So Kerr spent days clearing trash behind the orphanage before covering the land with soil. Then he bought 150 fruit and vegetable seedlings to give the children a steady supply of food.
It's got them laid out. Let's get them in. It won't be enough to feed the entire orphanage all year round, but it will definitely take some of the pressure off food, allowing the orphanage to spend more of their money on medical equipment and other vital services. But this project was only 150 seeds, and I promised to give away 16,000, one for every subscriber from the Penny Challenge. That's still underway. The next project's going to be donating to struggling farmers in remote Indonesia who've been struggling with failed crops due to changing weather patterns.
So Kerr stayed in Indonesia, getting to know the locals and take part in customs like buffalo racing. His next step, supplying the rest of the seeds to the struggling farmers and uploading the adventure onto his YouTube channel. Man, does this guy ever take a break. If you enjoyed his story, make sure to check out his channel. A link is in the description. And if you know any other YouTubers with incredible stories like this, or if you are one, get in touch with us, and we may have a video just like this for your story. Email hello@beamazed.com to be featured. After this crazy journey, which part of Kerr's story did you find the craziest? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.